Calvin Robinson has once again been cancelled, this time by the Anglican Catholic Church. In this video, we're going to show you exactly what happened to lead to this whole situation and get your reaction during the live show when it comes to the cancel culture in the Western world. Welcome back to Tusi TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya Tusi, and this is the latest news update from the United States of America and the situation with Calvin Robinson, who has become extremely infamous right now. Over the last few years, he's been cancelled many times by many people, many groups. It's difficult to actually keep up to date with all that. So we had, obviously, Calvin Robinson was a teacher first, and he became political, so he got cancelled by the teaching community in the United Kingdom. He then joined the Brexit Party and everything else that happened since then, and then he got a show on GB News. Did quite well, then got cancelled from GB News. Went to the United States a few months ago to live in America. Is now gone cancelled by the Anglican Catholic Church. And to give you some context, what exactly happened, it's all because of this speech that he made, a pro-life speech in the United States. And during this rally, Calvin Robinson decided to do a joke, which was to copy Elon Musk's gesture. That was to say, my heart goes out to you. Obviously, Elon, they came for Elon, but Elon is not cancelable anyway. Let's go to Calvin and see what exactly happened, because he's now getting accused of being a national socialist.
This I see as the last stand for the West. This is the last stand for Christendom. It's make or break time. The whole of the old world is crumbling. Every country in Europe is embracing death. America, as far as I could see, is the only country fighting for life. And that's down to you guys. So God bless all of you for what you're doing. Please keep doing it. I hope that I can encourage you. And my heart goes out to you. God bless.
So yeah, the infamous "my heart goes out to you" gesture that Elon did, obviously, although Elon did it unintentionally, but Calvin did it as a joke to copy it. The Anglican Catholic Church were not too happy about this, so they decided to remove him. There's a statement from them, which I'm going to read out, and then there's a reaction from Calvin's close friend, Lawrence Fox, which we're going to go to as well, and also an official statement from Calvin Robinson himself. And obviously, we're going to get your reaction on this show. Bishop Chandler Holder Jones said from the Anglican Catholic Church, a statement on Calvin Robinson. At approximately 3 p.m. today, members of the College of Bishops of the ACC were made aware of a post made on X showing the end of a speech made by Calvin Robinson at the National Pro-Life Summit in Washington, D.C. In it, he closed his comments with a gesture that many have interpreted as a pro-National Socialist salute. While we cannot say what was in Mr. Robinson's heart when he did this, his action appears to have been an attempt to curry favor with certain elements of the American political right by provoking its opposition. Mr. Robinson had been warned that online trolling and other such actions, whether in service of the left or right, are incompatible with the priestly vocation and was told to desist. Clearly, he has not, and as such, his license in this church has been revoked. He is no longer serving as a priest in the Anglican Catholic Church. Furthermore, we understand that this is not just an administrative matter. The Holocaust was an episode of unspeakable horror. What's that got to do anything? Enacted by a regime of evil men. We condemn National Socialist ideology and anti-Semitism in all its forms, and we believe that those who mimic National Socialist salutes, even as a joke or an attempt to troll their opponents, trivialize the horror of the Holocaust and diminish the sacrifice of those who fought against its perpetrators. Such actions are harmful, divisive, and contrary to the tenets of the Christian charity. Finally, we pray that God will give us grace to lay aside our unhappy divisions, and we commend our nation and ourselves to his almighty protection. Now, the issue they have is the other side of the political spectrum could get provoked or get offended. Why is it that when that female bishop did the service at the Trump inauguration, when the president and the vice president and their families were sitting there and she started ranting about LGBTQ plus division algebra, that provokes the political right, right? That's political division, but apparently that's okay. Joke not okay. Now, you don't have to agree with everything Calvin Robinson says or stands for. That's not the point of this. It's about cancel culture. Lawrence Fox has come out to react to this story as well, and he's made an appeal. Let's go to Lawrence.
Good morning. I've just woken up to the news that Calvin Robinson has been defrocked by the Anglican Catholic Church for mimicking Elon Musk's "from my heart to yours" gesture, which the left, ironically the very anti-Semitic left, have seized upon as a gesture of some sort of support or sympathy with the right or some sort of Nazi group. It's very obviously a joke to anyone who even has a modicum of good faith thinking. And I just want to say to the bishops that, did you consult your congregation? Did they know what Calvin was doing? Because it's pretty obvious to literally anyone with a brain before you take this bad faith action against a truly, genuinely wonderful and honourable man. I don't want to say anything that will prejudice whatever moves forward from him, but we cannot live in this world of cancel culture, and Calvin has been cancelled more than anyone I ever know, and has shown courage in amounts that no one I've ever known has shown. So please, if you are listening, Anglican Catholic Church, the Lord is merciful, and whether you think it's a joke in poor taste or not, that's fine, but please don't take the worst possible bad faith interpretation of what was quite clearly a piece of mockery and ridicule of the way that Elon Musk originally said. It's a direct copy of what Elon Musk did, and therefore it would seem really unwise to pander to the very anti-Semites who can't bear Jews, to pander to them, to attack a faithful man. I think it's a huge mistake, and yeah, I'd urge a rethink.
To be fair, that was quite reasonable, considering it came from Lawrence Fox. Usually he's more bombastic than that. Yeah, he makes a good point, actually. Priorities. There is a statement from Calvin himself saying, "For the record, in case he needs saying, I am not a National Socialist. I gave a talk at a pro-life event that seemed to go down well. I am pleased to have contributed to what I believe to be the most important of causes. The enemy hates that, of course, and the attacks have been plentiful. That is fine and to be expected. The joke at the end was a mockery of the hysterical liberals who called Elon Musk a National Socialist for clearly showing the audience his heart was with them. Context is key, but sometimes people ignore context to confirm their own prejudices. People see what they want to see." He continues by saying, "My attempt at dry wit in that typical British way was not a joke at the expense of World War II, nor an admission of my membership of a National Socialist Party. That would be an incredibly ignorant and bad faith assumption to make. The responses are very telling, though. The people who understand cheer those who have eyes to see. The people who do not want to understand reach for their pitchforks. They have found a new channel for their hatred. They remain in my prayers. May the Lord soften their hearts. Do not let the liberals distract from the real issue, the matter at hand, that we are allowing and enabling infanticide, and it must stop. Whether a silly old cleric like me makes a poor joke is irrelevant. Do not be swayed and distracted by the enemy whispering in your ears. Focus on the light." And of course, he finishes by saying all human life is sacred, and obviously the consequences, they come. Okay, you can consider my joke crass, but I ask you to consider if your responses have been proportionate. So that was a statement from Calvin Robinson himself. So what you guys think in the live chat? Ivan is back. Thank you, saying funny how some in the Catholic Church were happy to support the National Socialists after the Second World War. But they didn't exist after the Second World War, for the record. But yeah, good job. God does not issue licenses to preach. There's somebody said the Roman Church is fake anyway. This is not the Roman Catholic Church. It's the Anglican Catholic Church, not the slight differences. Now, yeah, there's a difference between obviously the church in Vatican in terms of the structure and the hierarchy. On the one hand, Calvin has religious integrity. On another hand, he has videos where he favored Islam over Judaism because they at least acknowledge Jesus. Yeah, that's naive, as well as other religious anti-Semitism. But yeah, I mean, this is the whole point of the propaganda from the Islamic side. And they say, hey, Christians, we mention Jesus' name in the Bible. Yes, but in what context? They acknowledge Jesus as an intern prophet. That's it. They don't accept him as God, so they just say, as the Son of God, they say he was a prophet, but he was an intern. He was like a junior prophet, but it's okay because Mo came, and Mo is the senior prophet. Okay, just because a book said it. That's how they get to you. AFC Manica says, love Father Calvin. Hopefully he'll come back to the UK and run for the ABLC. So, I mean, there was a reason he moved to the US, because his life wasn't safe in the UK. Lack of freedom and everything else. Not really sure coming back to the UK is the wisest of options. Perhaps he could go to Argentina with Javier Milei. That's safer. And they're nice and Catholic. JG Media says, never take a joke seriously, otherwise you'll have a sad life. Yes, Bernard Manning. Absolutely. Good comedian. Judy says, poor Calvin. They were very much misunderstood. Such a shame for him. Let's see what else we have. Where is the... Muhammad wasn't the senior prophet, just the most recent one. When did he become a prophet? You can't self-identify as a prophet. That's what they did, basically. But I mean, there's a lot of debates that we have in terms of the theology of this. But it's crazy stuff. Someone just said, nonsense. Jesus was not mentioned in the Quran. Okay, I'm not going to defend the Quran because it's a fallacy. But yes, Jesus was in fact mentioned many times in the Quran, but as I said, not as the Son of God, but as a junior prophet. So we have Surah Maryam, 1916 and 34. That's the born to the Virgin Mary section. Also the prophet and messenger of God. That's Surah Al-Ma'idah 5:16. Also mentioned Jesus in the Quran. Jesus is described as a servant of God. Okay. Who was sent to obviously guide people. Jesus was also mentioned in Surah Al-Imran 3:49 as in terms of the miracles and everything else. Surah Al-Nisa 4171 in the Quran also mentioned Jesus, but not as the Son of God, basically. The Quran rejects the concept of Jesus as a Son of God, instead basically mentioning him as a junior prophet. Also Surah An-Nisa 157 to 158, saying he did not die on the cross. So they didn't mention him, but for different reasons. They basically said he didn't even die. They basically completely denied everything that actually happened. Yes, but they also said that he will return Judgment Day, but again behind Mo as like an intern. Someone else is saying, Jake says, no, he wasn't. You don't speak, I say, is not Jesus Arabic, my friend does. Yes, he was mentioned, and Mary was mentioned, and the cross was mentioned. All that was mentioned, and I studied Quran. Actually, at first, not by choice, by force, in the Islamic Republic of Iran. And secondly, I also did self-taught because it's important to understand different ideologies. And yes, I did study Quran just to be informed. And yes, the son of Maryam, or obviously Mary, was mentioned as the son of Mary a number of times. But that's it. All right, let's go back. Ivan says, even my religious ignorance knows Jesus was in the Quran. I know. It's quite obvious. Jesus was mentioned a lot in the Quran, to be honest. Yeah, but not for the reasons that we think it was mentioned. It was insulting, basically, the way they mentioned him. And also, they couldn't have not mentioned him. By that point, Christianity already existed. It was huge. Imagine if, like, Mo went to a cave or the mountain and came back and said, oh, well, I got choked by the angel. And he said, I'm now the senior prophet. Believe me. But so what else did he tell you about the past? Nothing, really. Religion just starts now. We're starting from scratch. Moses didn't happen. Jesus didn't happen. Abraham didn't happen. I'm just the only one. I'm the only Mo. But sure, I mean, even they were not naive enough to do this. Captain Mission says, the guy is brilliant, not a national socialist. I am Jewish and support him 100%. Curtis says, so you're an ex-Muslim. Luckily not. Although nothing wrong with ex-Muslims. At least they had the bravery to leave that cult. But no. The issue is obviously the Islamic occupation in Iran means whether you're a Christian or a Jew or an atheist or whatever you are, or Zoroastrian, they will force you to learn Quran in school as a kid. So obviously my family were mostly Christian and a bit of Zoroastrians, so we did not do Islam. Jake says, I challenge you. How much do you want? My reputation versus yours. You could just read the Quran. Just read it when it talks about Mary's child. It's now doing a wager that whether Jesus was mentioned in the Quran or not. It's there. Also, you can ask that website, Google, to bring you guys the actual Arabic version. It would be good to actually read it in Arabic, because that's the best way to actually read Quran. Kura says, nonsense, lots of Jews still live there. I'm guessing you mean Iran. Yeah, so there's still some, not lots. There's still some Jews there, but you're only allowed to live in Iran as a Jew if you publicly denounce Zionism and Israel. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. Most of the Jews obviously left Iran. They are in Israel and in America and other places. Married the Delta or Umrah. No, we're not talking about that, Mariam. That's a whole different. It's the same thing with when people made a mistake with because there are different Marys being mentioned, even in the Bible. There was the Mary who was a little bit more outgoing socially. People thought that was Mary, the Mary. Like, no, that's a different Mary. We're not talking about that. No, we're talking about Jesus' mother, Mary. Jake, keep up. Well, says, can you speak Arabic? No. But obviously, there were similarities, well, in terms of letters with Persian. Also, my Persian's gone down massively, unfortunately. But yeah, when you're forced to read the Quran to study it, then yeah, you kind of have to you understand basic Arabic, which I've completely forgot all of it now. Which is disgusting because the Iranians are not Arabs. Stop forcing Arabic on Iranians. It's insulting. Anyway. Where are we with the rest of you guys? Yeah, most Iranian Jews live in California. Yeah, and the rest of them are in Israel, obviously. But yeah, a big chunk of them are in California. What? Kura says, your audience don't even know Jesus is in the Quran. The ignorance. So this is a public channel, TCTV. So we have people who are right-wing watching it, people who are left-wing watching it, people who are Jewish watching it, people who are Christian watching it, people who like my face watching it, people who hate my face watching it. So that means there will be trolls in the live chat. There will be people who like Islam, people who hate Islam. It's a public channel. So, Kuro, the issue is, there's someone in the live chat who doesn't agree with me. He's not my fan. That's the point of a debate. And as you can see, the audience, the people who are watching, the majority know that Jesus was in fact mentioned in the Quran. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and enjoying my life with these trolls. I'm Maya TC, and we are the media. Where's the thing?